All right, all right. Welcome. This is a special edition of the Morning Smoke. This is your host, Mello Miller. My co-host will be joining us here shortly. We have a special guest here with us. We've got a friend of the show. We got a friend of the show, Mark. And you know what? You know what it is. You know where to catch us. All that good jazz. The Morning Smoke podcast on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. We are every Mondays from 10 to 11 on JQLM radio. Today we're coming to you live. Normally we come to you Monday mornings and throughout the week with special things, but the Will Smith and the Chris Rock situation just has the morning smoke written all over it. It's a lot of drama, a lot of back and forth I'm seeing on social media, and I feel the need that there's several things that need to be addressed. I'm sorry. Um, this show is about hashtag accountability. Period. Point blank. End of discussion. And I just can't have it no other way. But I do want to say to my special guest, hey Mark, how you doing today, man?
I'm good, man. I'm groovy. How you doing?
Man, I tell you, Will Smith is one of my favorite actors. Period.
Mine
I
too.
have you know those login security questions that say, "Oh, what's your favorite actor?" I
Hmm.
have Will Smith as that. I don't know if he actually is, but he's so easy for me to come to the top of my mind every time. I have Will Smith as that answer, right?
He's Hollywood royalty.
He is literally royalty. And then, listen, before all this happened, Chris Rock was going on tour. I bought his tickets a couple weeks back. I'm going to see Chris Rock. He is my favorite, my number one living comedian that I'm a fan of. He just has his cadence, his voice, his presence, his
Yeah.
rundown literally just cracks me up. He is literally one of my favorite, and Dave Chappelle really is upper echelon. I mean, I give him all the credit in the world. Like I said, living
Yeah.
because my mind's kind of that Dirty Bird and some of those older cats,
Yeah.
or people that don't necessarily do comedy as much as they used to. Those guys may, they held a special place, but active comics, Chris Rock's that guy for me. So
Yeah.
I don't know, world, if you've seen it, I'll give you. I mean, everybody has seen the video. It's viral, social media, everybody's page. Essentially, Chris Rock was hosting the Oscars. Just in case you live under a rock and you didn't know
Yeah.
what's going on, he's hosting the Oscars, and a joke. They're reading from a teleprompter. These jokes are not written necessarily by Chris Rock, right? He
Right.
goes through the rundown. He got a writer and these are pretty clean cut jokes in their opinions, right?
Mhm.
Nothing. This is not no roast session on Comedy Central. If it was, it would have went a little crazy with you talking about Will and Jada. But
Right.
he's reading the joke. He says he's talking about Will and Jada. They says a couple jokes here. He's laughing, and then he says, "Hey, I love you, Jada." He says, I can't wait to see you in G.I. Jane 2.
Mhm.
If you don't know G.I. Jane, sorry, you may not know that was Demi Moore, what, in the 90s?
Yeah.
In which she had a bald head soldier, blah, 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 right? I mean, nothing special about the movie, but that's the reference. Bald, headed woman, really. That's all it was really coming down to. And
Right.
Jada Pinkett Smith she bald. She's rocked short hairs majority of her public life. She's had weaves occasionally here and there, but she's never rocked super long hair. I personally, and I consider myself a fan of the Smiths to an extent because I find them as entertainment.
Hmm.
Um, I did not know. I know now. I did not fully know that she had alopecia. I was not aware of this being real. Not every time she's on TV, she talks about alopecia. So I've seen tons of content from the Smith family and never heard them say alopecia once. So I just missed it. And I
Yeah.
mean, I'm being brutally honest, didn't know. So if Chris Rock didn't know, then I understand that he didn't know. I mean, I don't know if he did or didn't, but I can guarantee that man ain't had no beefs, no true beefs that I'm truly aware of, to where he really came after folks like that maliciously. It'd be out of his character, right?
Yeah.
It would be
Yeah.
out of Chris Rock's character in that setting to really come after them like that, like a disease that someone
Yeah.
has.
He's a
So I'm
professional.
giving him the benefit of the doubt historically that when he said this joke, he didn't know about the alopecia. That's just flat out. I'm not picking sides at this point. I'm just giving you my context on it.
Mm-hmm.
So Will Smith's laughing at first. This is video evidence. He's laughing at the joke at first. Jada looks up, rolls her eyes, never laughed. The camera does pan, but it's literally only a few seconds. Something went from Will laughing after the joke is told Will's laughing to the next thing you know, Chris Rock, you're seeing him. He's saying, "Oh no, here come King Richard," referring to the Williams sisters, Venus and Serena's movie in which depicted their father and strong black male, alpha type male, protecting his family, blah blah, and raising those girls, and he did a great job with them. Great job with
Mm-hmm.
them. The movie, in my opinion, was about a B. It wasn't Will Smith's best performance. He probably should have got an Oscar before that. But
Definitely.
he was up for Best Actor for the award, and so Chris Rock is plugging that in. He's plugging that in, and Will Smith goes on stage. I literally think I'm looking at it like, oh, Will Smith's definitely. What do you call that? Where they think on their feet. I just think that he's playing it up. You know what I mean? He's going on there, and he goes to smack him. Chris Rock wasn't prepared for that. He literally had his hands behind his back, put his face out. "What's up, Will?" And he smacked him, right? Now, the reality was I still was like, oh, wait a minute. I wasn't quite sure. And I think if anyone's honest with the world, you're thinking Chris Rock, you're thinking Will Smith. In that Oscars, I never really was thinking that this was something serious.
Right.
It did not cross my mind until I actually seen, because the Oscars at that point muted the sound.
Yes.
You didn't know what's going on, and they went to commercial break. The internet's undefeated, but overseas, the video kept playing and they got the sound.
In China and in Australia.
Yes, and it literally played. It went viral, so everybody's posting the videos. We got to see when Will Smith went back to his seat, Chris Rock saying, "Whoa, Will Smith just smacked the out of me."
Yeah.
Now, Chris Rock played that extremely good. I'm still thinking it's a skit.
Yeah.
I still think it wasn't even a bad one. That was actually pretty good. It's like, that's funny, right? That's
Right.
crazy. Until Will Smith was screaming.
Yeah.
Never seen Will Smith like this. His mother said she ain't even seen him like this ever.
Sister too.
Yes, sister as well. Said, "You keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth."
Yeah.
Will Smith don't even cuss in his records.
Never did.
Will Smith talked for 20 years minimum about how he don't raise his voice in his home.
Yeah.
I don't know what's true or not. I'm just telling you what the man says.
Yeah, that's what he
And
said.
Will Smith can talk. So I believe that he's talking Jada head off up in that home, and he ain't raising his head. But he come from a background of violence in his home. He's seen his mother, go through physical and verbal, emotional abuse and things of that nature. He said he just you can repeat that cycle or you can break it. And he at least publicly says that he's trying to break that. And so he never wanted that in his home. It's totally uncharacteristic. I think the last time I seen Will Smith yell was in I Am Legend. Fred!
Yeah.
Is that you,
Yeah, that's
Fred?
the last one. That's the last time I heard him.
Fred! Wait a minute.
Yeah.
And he shot him. So I should have, you know what I mean? But no, I just didn't know it was a joke until that moment. It was too out of character.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then Chris Rock says, okay. He's literally trying to de-escalate my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying, okay, chill. It was a G.I. Jane joke. Let's just chill. And Will Smith says, yes. He repeats it again. Keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth.
I don't know if Chris Rock was even trying to de-escalate. I think he was just in shock. because
I
he
think
did
that he
not
was
see that
trying to
coming.
maintain control and protect. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
there's different ways someone can react in that situation, right? Chris
Yes.
Rock's
Yeah.
still playing host with the cameras rolling, obviously.
Right. Right.
I think that he made a conscious choice. I seen slowed down footage. This is people can say whatever they want. I seen slowed down footage where Chris Rock when he was getting slapped actually balled his fist.
I
But he
believe it.
actually he balled his fist and he brought his arm up a little bit and but in a split second, because that's all you have time to react, a split second, he put his hands back behind his and he held onto his hands. He never reacted in any negative way. I personally think Chris Rock, with all his years of experience on stage and controlling those environments, this ain't the first time he's been heckled or something unruly or whatnot.
Yeah.
First time he probably got slapped on stage at the Oscars and by an A-list legendary actor, right?
Yeah. Right.
It definitely shocked. Let's not get that twisted. However, I feel that his tactics, his behavior, everything was to de-escalate. Chris Rock even told Will Smith, I will keep her name out my mouth." Essentially, he said this
Yeah.
to him, and Chris Rock went on, and there was a moment, if you notice, Smart.
Hmm.
Chris Rock said, "Well," and I could, and he kind of said he
I
was
caught
saying
that.
what the rest of it.
Yeah.
You
I
caught
caught
that,
he,
right?
he stopped right after I could. That's what.
He said,
And
I could.
then he hit a
Ooh,
reset.
ooh, yeah. He said because that's him on his feet, split second thinking, pure
Right.
professional.
Yes.
Because Chris Rock ain't no with his words. He ain't no punk with his words, right?
Right.
He
Well.
he is a quick comic. He can attack somebody like the best of them in that roasting setting. Let's just be real. Will and Jada, you put your business out there, you could easily be the target. Chris
It
Rock could easily have tore y'all up in that moment and made Will Smith really lose his mind.
so much stuff he could have joked about. He's a professional comedian that's been doing it for like 30, 40 years. There's
Yes,
so much
yes.
stuff that he could have just went in on if he was trying to be vindictive.
And that's why I'm saying everything about Chris Rock, if you just take it all into account, was him trying to handle that the best way he could to de-escalate.
Yeah.
He never justified, he never attacked again. He literally
Mhm.
was just like, "Hey, let's keep it in perspective. I won't say her name."
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
tried to and he kept the show moving.
That was, to me, that was more of a testament to who he is than anything else. Because I'll be honest with you, you can't smack me and me be able to go on with the show. That can't happen. Like the show is going to be what's going to happen in that front row. I can't be professional after somebody smacks me. Now I know the cameras are rolling and stuff like that, but you can't just smack me in front of somebody. Said you can't smack me in front of Lupita and Zendaya and then just go to your seat. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? But Chris Rock was not only able to find it in himself to de-escalate and to bring it down, he was also able to keep the show going as if nothing happened.
He
If
never
if
spoke
they
on it again
if
for
they
the
cut
rest of the
that
show.
section out, you would have never known that happened. If they cut that complete, if they were able to cut that completely out, you would have never known that happened. That's
And
how professional he was.
that speaks to his ego.
Yes.
That speaks to how he didn't put his pride first, his
Right.
ego first, his
Yeah.
emotions first.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
speaks to really. I don't want to take this lightly, right? But I'm gonna
Right.
do compare and contrast. It speaks to where his mental state was.
Yeah.
He was in control of himself.
Yeah.
He was in such a good place with himself inside that he
Yep.
didn't feel the need to have a pissing match. He didn't
Right.
feel the need to do a lot of things at that moment that
Mhm.
many people would not have shown that strength
Right. Me
because
who?
many of us ain't got it together like that.
Definitely. Definitely.
But that's
What?
why I don't. I'm talking about Chris Rock right now because trust me, I got plenty to say about Will Smith.
Yeah.
I'm intentionally talking about Chris Rock right now because not enough people are talking about Chris Rock.
Yeah, the onus is on Will Smith, rightfully so. But you know, Chris Rock, uh, in my opinion, did absolutely nothing wrong. He's a comedian, and I'm going to say, I think how it goes is they'll have a script for you, but the reason why they bring comedians in is because comedians are quick witted and they can do the in between monologue. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like before you go from this monologue to this monologue, the little in between stuff. And that's
Yep.
why they brought comedians on to host because I'm
That ad
sure
lib
nobody
ability.
wrote a G.I. Jane joke. That was
Yeah.
Chris Rock off the top of his head because it's a dated joke. So you have to
Yep.
be like 35 and older to even know what that reference
Young
was.
folks ain't even knowing what even that
No.
meant.
Yeah. Yeah. They had no clue what the GI. That's why they were so upset because what's the GI Jane? It's got to be something negative. It actually wasn't anything negative. Demi Moore looked incredible when she shaved her head, and the movie GI Jane was one of those first ode to femininity, women can do what men can do type movies. There wasn't a whole bunch of those out there. So this was one of the first ones where we're saying that a woman has strength, she has power, she can do things that men can do. And GI Jane was like the patron saint of that. So
Yep.
it wasn't a diss,
It was
even the joke.
the funny part about that was if you look at any other characteristic about the G.I. Jane, that's
Yeah.
a strong, powerful woman.
Yes.
It was just the bald head that was the connection. But if you
Right.
look at Jada in some of them other ways, she probably could play G.I. Jane too.
Yeah. I actually thought that he was talking about a movie that she was going to be in. I was like, oh, okay. I can see her in G.I. Jane too. Like, I actually thought that for a minute.
Legit could see her
Yeah.
in that.
Yeah.
She
I didn't know
fought in
that
the
was a joke at
Matrix.
first.
She was in the Matrix and she fought on that and sold it very well.
Yeah.
I guess, for me, um, it was harmless. Some people want to now let's go into the other angle. Some
Mhm.
people want to say the alopecia angle and it was poor taste and this and that and taking it to a different lens in which I don't think the comedy, especially Chris Rock's heart, in my opinion, as much as you can judge someone's heart,
Right.
based on every piece of evidence that I'm aware of, man,
Hmm.
I don't think that his heart was in a negative place with that talking about her alopecia.
Why would he do so? Charlamagne the God said that he talked to Chris Rock the night of the Oscars. And he said that Chris Rock said he had no clue that she had alopecia. Willow, their daughter, has a shaved head also. He
Yep,
thought that maybe she was doing something with her daughter and shaved
yep,
her head to kind of be in lockstep with her daughter. Many people didn't know. I knew because I follow Jada and Red Table Talk and stuff like that. And I read where she said that she was struggling with alopecia, so she decided not to let it define her. So she decided to shave her head. But if that's the case, then a joke should not be off limits. If you really made peace with it, a joke should not be off limits. It just shouldn't. And you're a public figure, and you are known for putting your personal information out for public consumption. You cannot then be the arbiter of what a comedian can joke on, especially if you are front center, front row of the Oscars in a public setting. You, if if you know it's a comedian whose job it is to make jokes at anybody's expense, DL Hughley is way better at targeting people in the audience. That was his whole thing. If you go back and watch Kings of Comedy, the only other comedian that like talked about audience members was Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey took a man's jacket, Boogie. Everybody knows Boogie. He's the hood famous. He took the Boogie's jacket and went back to him. Yeah, Boogie's hood
Ain't
famous.
nothing about that say computer nor
Art
technology.
school. Yeah,
Oh,
but
computer,
but
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but we know that, and we know that that's what comedians do. So Will Smith laughed at the joke initially. You could see Jada kind of wince, like she didn't like that joke. And I get what women are saying. Like we don't know how many times she's cried about it to him. We don't know how sensitive she is with him about it. But that's not Chris Rock's job to know her level of sensitivity about issue that he knows nothing about. And there's a lot of people who didn't know. A lot of people who didn't know.
I didn't know. I
Yeah,
honestly, here's the funny part. I love the Red Table Talk. I can't claim to have watched every single episode because I probably missed that one, right?
right.
I probably missed any conversation, but I've seen a lot of the Red Table Talk, right?
Yeah,
I follow Will Smith and I don't follow many celebrities like that, right?
right,
When it comes to guy celebrities for whatever, I just don't follow a lot of guy celebrities. I follow Will Smith. I follow The Rock. I follow a few guys.
right,
Let's just
right,
keep that real. Will Smith's one of them. He has a lot of stuff. I've never even heard him talk about his wife's stuff. Um,
right.
I used to follow Jaden and Willow. They're a little out there for me, so I don't really fool with them like
Yeah,
that. And they're not,
definitely.
I'm not their target audience anyway. So
Right, right.
I don't really keep up with them. But I just never knew. So
Yeah,
Chris Rock would have way more access than me. I have to
yeah,
take him at his value, saying that he wouldn't do it. But I'm gonna compare something. Mike Tyson has a speech impediment. You know,
right.
he had a speech. People have been talking about his voice for 30 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Floyd
Yeah,
Mayweather got a learning deal. You know,
right.
a dyslexia type situation. People have been talking about his reading. A
Everybody.
lot of people have talked about Chris Rock. People have
Yeah,
talked about, ever since he played Pookie, he ain't never put on no weight.
right,
People have talked about him being, I guess what I'm saying is, in comedy, really nothing's off the table.
right, right.
Even uh, even disabilities,
Yeah,
even gender stuff,
yeah,
religion. If you can talk about somebody's God, you could talk about somebody's bathroom of choice. You could talk about somebody's hair. You could talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. The issue is whether it's the proper setting or the format or whatever, how dirty or clean you need to make it PG or whatnot.
mhm,
I think the GI Jane joke fit perfectly with the setting. It talked about a movie. You had everyone in that room knew GI Jane because
right.
that's Hollywood.
Yeah,
I guess it is what it is. I don't see any harm in it. I think that they've been in the limelight and been out there so much.
yeah.
Before we
Imagine,
get to, how can that really be that
imagine
offensive?
this joke in the '90s during the
Yeah,
Def Comedy Jam era. That would have been a whack joke back in the '90s. That would have been a very weak joke back in the '90s compared to other jokes that they can make. And also think about this. Jada lets us in, and Will does some, but Jada especially lets the whole world into their family a lot with all the information that Chris Rock and the rest of the world has at hand, off the top of our head, concerning the Smith family.
yep,
If he was really being malicious, do you think he would go to a hair joke?
yep.
Like out of all the things that we know about, like somebody wrote it or said a joke on Twitter that was funny, and like where he could have destroyed Will Smith afterwards. Like they said, if Chris Rock would have said, if he's this angry in March, imagine
Imagine how he is in
imagine
August.
you know, man, the jokes write themselves. It's hilarious, right? So he could have done a whole lot worse if he was trying to be malicious. But Chris Rock isn't trying to be malicious. That wasn't his intent. He was rattling off a joke that he thought off the top of his dome initially. So people have to stop acting as if he was like he knew she had alopecia. He knew she was struggling with it and she was sensitive about it, and he decided to make the joke anyway. That's not on brand for Chris Rock. That's not what he normally does.
See,
He's not a confrontational
I'm
comedian
big
like
on compare and contrast to put things in perspective, right?
right.
Donald Trump talked about that handicap. And he did all that, the movements and the gestures. He knew what time that was.
Right. Right.
His followers dismissed that as a joke, and I acknowledge it was a joke.
Uh-huh.
I attacked Trump for a lot of things. That was a joke. It was in poor taste due to what? The setting, your stature, the office you're running. You're not a comedian, right? This is not your job.
That's the most important point. If you're a comedian, your job is to either go up to the line or across the line in certain instances. Like the Bernie Mac's whole skit when he told the joke about his nephew trying to get on the school bus and the bus driver closing the door and driving off because he had a stuttering problem. He couldn't get the words out before the bus driver pulled off, and then once the mother went up and confronted the bus driver had a stuttering problem too. Funniest joke that it had me crying, but that is something that's sensitive now. People want comedians to be politically correct, and that doesn't work in comedy. That's not culturally how we do things in comedy. That's not how Black people tell jokes. We do not worry about being politically correct. That's something in another culture, but we don't do that. So we can't hold Chris Rock, even though he was in a setting with mostly white people, we can't hold him to a standard of he has to be pristine. And that joke might have been a little, for people who know she had alopecia, that joke was, that was bad. For somebody who doesn't know, and because there's so many people who don't know, what that says is Jada did not become the spokesperson for alopecia. She just said that she had.
Let's just say it like this. Alopecia and her being bald isn't as sensational as the entanglement, right?
Right.
However, Jada has not spoke on that enough, in my opinion, to really, like, as you said, be the spokesperson for that. Maybe there's a reason. Maybe she just acknowledged it and kept it moving and didn't want to keep, talking on it. But honestly, that look she had and all that, there's rumors that she cried when Will Smith came. I didn't see any of that. So I never seen her cry.
Right.
Jada don't even look like, and if she cried over some hair but didn't cry over your husband looking distraught on your show.
Can we get into why she didn't try and grab his arm? Can we get into why Jada never seems to protect Will the way that people are giving Will kudos for quote unquote protecting a Black woman? Can we get into that? Like the responsibilities and the roles that a woman plays in a man's life, just like a man plays in a woman's life?
Before we go on to Jada, because I really wanted to give Chris Rock his moment and talk about that. Let's go on to Will. Let's go on to Will.
Okay.
The first thing I want to address about Will's behavior is not Will. It's the defenders online that are talking all their stuff about justifying Will's actions.
Yes.
I am going to tell you right here, right now, that there is nothing appropriate about what he did. Forget the setting.
Yeah.
You cannot be sending a message to your kids or your family that you're, quote unquote, weak story anyway, that you're protecting your family.
Yes.
You can't be sending the message that it's okay to physically put your hands on somebody because of words.
Right.
Especially if you live in that life.
We have, like, people keep comparing Will Smith to like a garbage truck driver, or Will Smith to a security guard or something like, well, if somebody said something to my wife, now I go up there and smack her too. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
Put it this way.
Let,
Put it this way.
let,
Even if you did,
right,
good luck getting away with that 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what I mean? Because
right.
you're going to be locked up.
Yeah. Now, this is what I said. If that was Deion Cole that made that joke, I bet you Will Smith wouldn't went up there and smacked him. If that was Corey Holcomb that made that joke, I bet you Will Smith wouldn't have went up there and smacked him. He went up and smacked Chris Rock.
Earthquake got that Netflix special.
Yeah.
He ain't doing that to Earthquake.
No, he's not going up and smacking Earthquake. So
Dave
already
Chappelle about 6'2", 6'3". You're not doing it to Dave Chappelle.
No. And because it wasn't just the smack, right? Like the smack was bad. A smack is worse than a punch. And I did a video about this, and I broke it down. And I'm talking about masculinity. I'm talking about manhood. If you punch me in my face, then you view me as a threat, and you're trying to knock me out so that I cannot aggress towards you. If you smack me in my face, you don't view me as a threat. You just want to embarrass me, right? If you smack me in my face and then walk away, turn your back towards me, then what you're telling me is that there's no level of respect that you have. You don't respect me as a man. You don't respect me as a possible threat to you at all. So there's levels of disregard that went on that people focusing just on the smack didn't pay attention to. He demeaned this man in front of millions of people. He did apologize. He has since apologized. But the level of disrespect goes far beyond what that apology could do. Now, that being said, that wasn't Will Smith that night. That was a man who was on a different emotional place, in a different emotional place that night. That's not who he normally is. If his mom even says that she's never seen him blow up like that
in his entire life,
that means that man is going through something. And me personally, even though we're not talking about it yet, I always see his problems coming back to Jada. That's what I see. I always see her being the impetus of issues that he has.
I'm just going to say this, okay? In the Black community, on this show, that's the lens in which this show is portrayed. It's viewed through the Black lens.
Yes.
So I'm talking to that community. We respond to situations poorly so often. Right. Period. Yeah. Not always, but way too often. Now, right. You got somebody up there that's a legend, an icon, the community embraces on many different levels, from music to entertainment to all kind of stuff. You have a responsibility to continue to do what you've done so well and navigated those landmines that so many other people in your position have failed to do. So I'm not saying you need to be perfect.
Right.
I'm not nailing him to the cross here. But I'm recognizing, stop defending it when he failed.
Right.
You have to praise when he does right, but when he fails to do what he's supposed to do,
yes.
Right?
Yeah. We got to hold each other accountable.
Hashtag accountability is what this show is. Now listen, the people saying that they want a man like that, okay, let's play this out. Yeah. Will Smith can do all that. Will Smith can do all that, acting and this and that, and do whatever you want to do because he has the money to. Yeah. He has hold on, go in there. He has the money to get out of those jams.
Right.
Will Smith would have. I don't care if it was on video for millions to see. Will Smith would have never seen a day in jail.
No. He's papered up.
Chris Rock could press charges and he wouldn't have seen a day in jail. Now the reality is, like you said, average Joe Blow, you're a security guard, you're a garbage man, you work in the office somewhere, Go put your hands on a couple people. Keep
Yeah.
thinking that it's a community where we ain't gonna press charges, right? Keep
Right.
taking that for granted that you've been in some fights before and this and that. All it takes is one.
Yeah.
You
It,
ain't got the resources. The average person don't got Will Smith resources. You ain't supposed to put your hands on people because for that. Because if you did, what would you be teaching your kids? Look, me and you got kids, school age
yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
In our day and age, you had mama jokes, you had all kind of things, right?
Oh yeah.
What, we're
Yeah.
supposed to just go put our hands on somebody because somebody said something that embarrassed you?
You better be able to fight because where I grew up, Gary, Indiana, there were no limits. Like there was no topic that I'm talking about. Your mother could be in hospice. It did not matter. It did not matter. You ask people from Gary, they'll tell you it did not matter. In the '90s, where we were, it didn't matter. You gonna get these jokes, and whoever started crying, I wanted to fight. That's the one who lost. We're talking about two individuals who are at the top of their professions. They're goated in their professions. And also, Will Smith is getting his first Oscar this same night. If there's any night where you should be relaxed and calm and full of joy, it's the night that you're getting your first Oscar, and you know you're getting your Oscar. You know you're getting it. So they're sitting you front row. They're not going to sit you front row and be like, maybe next year. No, you're getting your Oscar that day. So we think about the fact that this guy on that day is getting his Oscar for a movie that you're right. King Richard was not his greatest film.
Not at all. Not at all.
I would not put it as his worst.
It's not his worst,
but that would be probably 6 degrees of separate. But it wouldn't be his worst, or maybe it was Suicide Squad because that movie was horrible. But anyway,
he was the bright spot in Suicide Squad.
He was the great person in the movie, but the movie was trash. But
the movie was trash.
He deserved an Oscar on many other movies. Concussion, 7 Pounds, so many movies. So many movies that he played in that he was incredible in and never got an Oscar. He was robbed of an Oscar. And on the night that he's getting his Oscar for the first time, Will Smith is goated and is just now getting an Oscar. That's the night that he chose as violence. No, that's not. That's somebody who is struggling mentally.
Yeah,
that's somebody who's having issues, and it was Pursuit of Happiness. Tell me he didn't deserve an Oscar for that. But
Pursuit of Happiness is one of my all-time favorite movies. It's literally one of my all-time favorite movies.
That one and After Earth are my two favorite movies.
It hit home. Pursuit of Happiness hits home for me because I was raised by my father.
Right.
And we had struggles, we had ups and we had downs as far as a lot of things. And my dad's passed. So that movie always hit home to me.
Yeah.
And so and the whole point of a movie is to make you suspend disbelief and you buy into it and you get emotionally invested in that kind of movie anyway. You know what I mean? And it sells to me. So he should have won something for that. He should have won something for that. Yeah.
Definitely. After Earth, I know After Earth is a movie that probably isn't Oscar worthy. Most people didn't like that movie. I loved it. I loved it because of the connection, because of my connection with my children and the connection that he has with his son. Like I took my son with me, my oldest, to see that movie. And I took him just because there was a moment in time where it was just me and him. And sometimes you need to see that these things that your father is saying to you isn't just him trying to run your life and ruin your fun. He's trying to speak things into you so that when he's no longer capable, you could go on. The movie was deep. The monologue that he did about fear is my top monologue of all time. I refer to it often. But This is the night that he was getting his Oscar for the first time, and this just so happened to be the night that he decided to smack a comedian on the Oscar stage, not during break or anything like that. To get up from his seat, walk up there and smack the dude, and then come back down and sit back in his chair, and his face changed. If you look at his face, the countenance of his face was different. He almost didn't look like Will Smith. He looked like something different. If you looked at his face, his jaws were drawn down, his chin was out. He looked like a completely different person.
He
My
did. He
my
did.
thing is,
Yeah, he 100% did. He went
yeah,
from
and his wife
how you go
never
from
stopped,
laughing to
never got
that?
wrong.
How you go from
Yeah,
laughing to that is what I'm saying. That's
something had because everybody who's black knows exactly what happened. He laughed it out, ha 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 ha, ha, and he looked over and he saw his wife, and it triggered him, and that's what he went off on. Now, because of that, I believe that it was her responsibility to grab him so that he didn't embarrass himself, put future endeavors at risk, or embarrass the family in any way, because that's not his character. Yes, protect me, but don't put yourself at risk. Holler at him during the commercial break. Go up and talk to him. Don't go up when you're full of anger. Women are the soothing voice that calms us. When we love you, you calm us when we're raging, because we're going to rage to protect you. We go from 0 to 10 because we love you so much. We don't want anybody to hurt you or anything to hurt you. And the minute that something does, I want to put my fist through it. But if you're going to protect me the way that I'm protected, if you're going to be as fierce in protecting me as I'm protecting you, then you have to take it upon yourself to try and diffuse me, because I'm going up to protect you.
can we say, however, can we say, however, that is not the appropriate way to protect your family. That is short-term thinking. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay, let me just say it like this. Okay, somewhat of a joke, but it's real talk. Go ahead, men out there. Protect your woman when somebody says something to him. Put your hands on him. Okay, get locked up, and you're gonna have an August up in your house.
Yeah, yeah. You better have your insurance and your life insurance paid up if that's the life that you're gonna live, because it's a very short one.
Somebody else is gonna be being called daddy by your wife and your kids at that point, because you're gonna be in prison.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
I'm just saying, long
Exactly.
term, that's not how a man who's there. See, that's the mentality I'm saying we got to change. Stop thinking
Yeah.
long term. I know plenty of people who didn't see what their life would be like a year from now, 5 years. They didn't have that in their future because everybody around them getting shot and died. I grew up. I seen that. You grew up in Chicago, or Gary. You know what I mean? People sometimes in certain lifestyles got short memory because they don't see long term.
Right.
All I'm
Right.
saying to my black community is we gotta change that.
You know,
Stop
I'm
endorsing
seeing
this type of behavior.
I'm seeing more women say, and I'm talking about prominent women. This is what's tripping me out. There was I don't know if she was an actress or something like that, who posted "good on Will" or something like that, and of course she deleted it because she shouldn't have even posted it in the first place. But even activists like Tiffany Dolph London,
Yeah.
she even posted that, this is what it looks like to protect black women. It's not what it looks like to protect black women. This can't be the standard of protecting black women, because a guy can, if you love your husband, he can lose his life. We're not talking about every husband is not going to be in a situation where he's at the Oscars and it's Chris Rock that he's smacking. So if this is the standard of men protecting their wives, and what you're saying is that your husband or that you love should go up to any dude that says something to you and that or makes a joke that you don't find funny. He should go up and he should assault any of them. And whatever happens, happens. Because I'm gonna tell you, Chris Rock is on the short list of comedians that don't have it in them to fight back when somebody smacks them. That their first instinct isn't to come off the top rope off of that stage. He's on the short list of people who've been doing it for so long that they're professional enough to allow their professional instincts to kick in. There's a lot of comedians he wouldn't have been able to walk away from that in doing that, and you
100%.
can't.
It's just not a sustainable. It's not a sustainable mode of action, a choice. You
No,
know, I'm sorry, Will Smith. This is not a movie where you are in character and you beating everybody up. You will get
no,
the hands put on you. Shannon
yes,
Sharp, my favorite personality on TV. All right,
love.
Uncle Shay. You know what I'm saying? He said I would whoop Will Smith's ass. He said, I don't know about that
And he
tux,
would.
but Will Smith, I'm telling you right now, I will whoop your ass.
Mhm.
He said, if you come up on me like that, it's over. And he said, anytime I see you, it's on site. Now, we
Every
know
time.
what on site means in the community.
Yeah, every time.
Every time
At
I
the
see you.
grocery store, at the
Now,
anywhere, on site.
listen, Shannon Sharp ain't about no games. He got two hip replacements. And he still
Right.
would he'll put Will Smith he'll put Will Smith on the ground. Now here's the funny part. He spoke to if he was Chris Rock, he said he respects everything about the professionalism, but he ain't got that in him. And if he was Chris Rock, win or lose, because he know Chris Rock is 150 pounds soaking wet, win or
Right.
lose, he'd have had to go ahead and put his hands on him. He said win or
Look,
lose. Now I don't agree with that part, but I'm telling you, there would have been one if Chris Rock would have reacted that way. Let's set any side about how it looks. Chris
mhm,
Rock ain't going to jail
right.
because that's
But
defense.
so here's the thing. As a younger brother, your mindset is every. I might not beat you this time, but I got to keep trying to whip you. If I lose this fight, you got to go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get tired. You got to go to sleep. You gonna wake up to a frying pan in your head. I gotta get you back because if I don't, then you feel like you could do that to me all the time. So I'm a middle child. So that's the mentality that goes into every time I see whether win or lose. Even if I lose, I got to see you. You're gonna have to see me. You're gonna get tired of either beating me up or get tired of punching me in the stomach or punching me. You're gonna get tired of it, and you're gonna be like, okay, all right, look, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have smacked you. You know, I'm tired of beating you up. You know, I'm getting scrapes and scratches all over me. I'll take that L, but you're gonna see me coming every time. And you're like, here you go again. All right, come on. You know what I'm saying? So that's the younger brother mentality of I got every time. I don't care if I lose.
Yep.
You got to see me.
And and,
So I
and,
feel
and,
them.
and that and that is what the mindset would be. That's why Will Smith ain't got that energy with everybody. You see what I'm saying?
Nope.
He chose, even if it was subconscious, he knew
Yep.
Chris Rock, he knew Chris Rock wasn't gonna be about that reaction.
Right.
And so
Right.
in his mind, he felt this is a safe place to lose my mind.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't about that reaction. Now, um, I don't know, and I want to get my co-host. Look, we got my co-host in here. I want to get my co-host in here,
Yes,
but I got to
sir.
say this.
I
Marquette,
apologize, gentlemen. It's been a busy day. Jesus.
that's life. Hey, that's life,
It
man. That's life.
Yeah.
Listen, me, a friend of mine, friend of the show, BJ. Me and him love this skit that goes viral. It's like where the guy on the subway. It's older now. He said, you stepped on my toe. Step on his toe." And he's like, and he's going crazy. He's going crazy, and he's losing his mind. He's going crazy. This older black guy. I want to see Will Smith go slap him. Go slap
Yeah.
him, Will. Good. Look, I'm just saying
He
he
don't
chose
want
the
that.
right one. He chose the right one.
He did.
Now,
He did.
this the morning smoke, and my co-host. Listen, I want America. Here's my hands. I've not been in the comments, America. My co-host is the one that's smoking. You see the comments. He done talked about Mike Lowry's dead wrong. Jim West is dead wrong. Listen,
I just
I ain't got
wanted to.
nothing to
I
do
just
with it.
look. I'll be honest. I just wanted to. I wanted to start the fire because I haven't said anything yet. So I had to. Let people know. Will is known for this. Jim West, Trigger Mike is what they called him. I mean, come on now, come on now. But I don't know what was all talked about, so I do apologize, America. Apologize to my people on
Well,
here. It's been a
well, let me
been a
catch
busy
you up.
day. Busy
Let me
day.
catch you up to speed.
Catch
Let
me
me
up to
catch you up
speed.
to
Catch me
speed.
up to speed. Catch me up to speed.
I want to know. First off, we talked about. It's not about Will Smith. At this, the question I'm asking. Your thoughts on Chris Rock and how he handled the situation. What are your thoughts?
Um, there's a scripture in the Bible that says about, and I'm paraphrasing, where it talks about turn the other cheek. He was the epitome of that during the Oscars. Because any other person that I can think of in my mind that got slapped like that in public is not turning the other cheek. I'm one of them, and I don't
Right.
claim to be a fighter or anything of that nature. But it's gonna be a problem. Is all I'm saying. He may have beat me up on stage too. I don't care. But either way it goes, it's gonna be a problem. So I commend Chris Rock to the fullest of him handling that extremely professionally, and even made a joke about it. Like he literally, kept rolling with the show. I mean, that just tells a lot of his demeanor, of the type of person that he is. It tells that he about getting that paper because the Oscars have to be paying him good for him not to
Right.
mess up. So, I mean, I commend him for it. I mean, it's you don't get that. You don't get that in our community. Period. You can brush past somebody accidentally and cause a fight. So,
So let me get this straight. What I'm hearing is, Mark, you stop me if I'm wrong. We on
Mhm.
air. We on air. We ain't got millions. We got a few viewers with us. If I come over there right now and I smack Fitz,
it's on site. It's on site.
Mark,
It's
is what I'm hearing is saying he ain't gonna turn the other cheek.
what Shannon Sharp say? It's on site. Come
He said he ain't got no more cheeks in him. He said you
on,
took the
man.
last. That's the last cheek he had. He didn't have no more to
I'm
turn.
I'm sorry, America, that my co-host is so unprofessional. Look, we got the comments that coming through. You're right, BJ. My co-host is unprofessional. He's unprofessional. I'm sorry. What we got in there? Uh, oh, there go BJ. Woo! Hey, I see you on there. I see you on the comments, man. And that's what it is. Listen, Vince. We also talked about how the comments in the social media world that are defending Will. I'm
Outrageous.
about, you know me. I'm about to coin it. Hashtag accountability. You understand? The people in the community that are defending this man have the wrong mindset. There's
Yeah.
just no way that you can have your significant other putting his long-term future on the line to be a father and a husband for some words. I'm sorry. If it were me, Mark, and people have challenged me like I'm some punk because I'm in the comments. I'm argue online.
Hmm.
And I told him, I said, listen, if I was Chris, not in that setting, but if I'm in that situation that they're in, and somebody say something to my wife sideways, I'm going to give them all the smoke back verbally.
Hmm.
I'm gonna talk so much cash they're gonna think about ending it all. But the reality is that when it comes to the physical response, I'm gonna have to be in self defense in that mode because I'm gonna be able to get off. You
Right.
Okay,
understand
my
what I'm trying
fault.
to tell you?
My fault.
Because it's not worth that level. But I'll talk trash to the man.
So
I talk
so what?
trash extremely well. I grew up in that era, but
Yeah.
I'm a verbally assault that man like he verbally assaulted my wife. That people are putting those hypotheticals to me. I'm a verbally
I'm gonna
assault him back.
I'm gonna do both. I'm a verbally assault you, and if you get into my space,
Yeah, yeah.
then I'm going to take it as you are wanting to be on a physical level also. But here's what I say: if all the people who are defending Will Smith and saying that Will Smith did exactly what he was supposed to do, tell me when Jada smacked somebody. Because we've been getting disrespected for at least a couple decades now. Tell me who
Exactly.
Jada Pinkett Smith
Exactly.
has smacked, and then I'll shut
Exactly.
up. If you
Exactly.
tell me who she smacked defending her husband, I will shut my mouth. But you ain't got nobody.
But
She ain't
here's the
smacked not one person. In fact, she speaks glowingly
yeah.
about the people who disrespect Will Smith. August Alsina made a song about it, talking about all the good loving he was giving to your wife. And
Yep.
and the only thing you did was say, "Well, it was at a trying time in my life, and August he's a great person, and we had great times together." I'm sitting right here.
Yeah.
I'm sitting right here. I'm your husband. You're sitting right here, and you telling me how great this dude is. You telling me you and Tupac had a relationship that was beyond just boyfriend girlfriend or being in love. It was more than that. I'm sitting right here, and you saying that about these other men, but when it comes to me, you never defend me. Never
Yep.
defend me. I've never
Never.
seen her defend Will Smith. I've never seen her be as aggressive in defending him as people are saying Will is right to be defending her. And that tells me that you're okay with a man loving you while you don't love him. Because if that's the standard of love, if you're saying that's how a man treats his wife when he loves her, and you're not doing the same thing for me, then what you're saying is that you're okay with a man loving you without you loving him.
Now finish catching me up, man. Finish catching me up.
We talked about that. We were going into Will at this point.
Yep.
And we were talking about Will's actions. We both feel that he has earned the cachet for us to praise him for all the many years that he has handled himself professionally. Mark is speaking on it. He is taking flack. He is a meme. You know how hard it is to become a meme? He is a
Multiple.
pure Jordan meme. I don't.
Yeah.
In fact, I think that meme of Will Smith got more play than the Jordan meme. The
Maybe.
reality is that Will Smith has taken all of that, and I don't even know if any of that is phasing Will. I'm being real. People talk about it. They can only take so much from the public. I don't think that Will has been in the public too long. I don't
Way
think
The
that
too
front
phases
long.
him.
knows the phase.
I think that it's his home life that he can only take so much of. He has spoken on how he refuses to get a divorce. He has spoken on how that
Mm.
is it's a part of his makeup. And it took everything in him to divorce his first wife. He said he had to have a divine interaction almost for him to get that first wife divorced. And he said this is just for life. I think his own mindset, Jada is taking advantage of. Now, I don't know if she's taking advantage of every single minute, but I'm going to tell you right now, Mark, we've been in situations. I think that when people know a commitment level is there, they tend to abuse it.
It happens.
Hmm.
I all I can say is I feel Will's situation. I have lost myself in certain things. And it's tough line that one has when you really got that good heart and you're trying to maintain your family. You're trying to be what you didn't have maybe growing up, and that's that unit. You didn't marry this person because you wanted to be apart. You wanted to split. You're trying everything in your power to go against the grain of the easy way out, and you lose yourself in that sometimes. You lose yourself in that sometimes. If it's me, I don't know if Will is ready to receive it. But if I'm in his inner circle, his mama, his sister, I'm sorry. You pull him aside and you had a this is the rock bottom for the friend to say, hey, this is your life, but I'm gonna tell you what. I've known you XYZ, and this ain't you. I don't
Right.
want to hear about a mistake. Let's talk about what caused it, and it's not a hair joke.
Right.
I'm sorry. I think that if I seen, and I use my co-host as an example, he is a mild mannered guy. He's got a good heart. He helped everybody in the world. If I seen him this far out of character, I'm sorry. I'm pulling him to the side and I'm telling him what time it is.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell him right now, your life ain't my life, but I'm not gonna be your guy and just sit there idly while you are completely something's wrong.
Right.
Now,
Right.
Fitz, you know I pull you to the side. You know I pull you to the
Hmm.
side. I have pulled you and whispered in your ear several
Yeah.
times about
Too many. Too
lesser
many.
things.
Too many.
About lesser things. If it
Yeah.
can't if it was something this big, trust me, I'm gonna be right there, right in your ear.
Nah. Nah. Don't do that.
Mark, if you had your guy, if you now this is another thing that we have to talk about. The black community, we tend to not want to be in everybody's business.
Hmm.
That's
Now we'll
true.
talk gossiping behind. I'm talking about when a real friend needs to step up. A lot of times we don't communicate that, especially us black men. We don't want to step up and say what's uncomfortable and have that conversation with our guy and be like, "Hey, you my person. I may be overstepping, but that's what. Listen, our friendship
Yeah.
should allow a couple toes to be stepped on. I'm gonna tell you what time it is." Our
That's
community,
love
the
though.
black men, sometimes don't communicate that way.
That's love though. That's how you're supposed to be with dudes that you love. They're your bros. Like
Yep.
when they're
Yep.
out of character, you know that they're having an episode. They're having a situation that they may need help and they don't know how to get that help. Will Smith to me seems like somebody who has reached his mental limit with some things that he's experiencing, whether it's at home or with Jada, or whether it's the pressures of people talking crazy. Because people been talking crazy about the Smith family,
I
me
just
included.
don't think that it's the public, bro. I just can't
No,
see that after all these
I
years.
don't think it is either.
Yeah,
The
I
public
just
didn't
can't
make him
see.
react like that.
Yeah, I
That's
just don't think that he has that in him to react that way to the public pressure.
no,
Um, Half the time he ain't even the person on social media. That's that. People don't realize these celebrities ain't the one running their pages a lot of times. You know, you
yeah,
got publicists, you got a team of people that's doing Facebook and Twitter, and this. He get on there for the videos and stuff, but that's a team. That's his job. He's
yeah.
marketing himself, his brand, right?
And he just
Um,
started doing that.
yeah, I'm just saying, like, I just don't think that this it's the public, man. I really don't.
I
I
don't
think
think
that,
it is either. I
yeah, I
think
think that
like
that's his wife, man. I think that's his pressure. He,
I look at the fact that Jada is inviting everybody in to their family, right?
yeah,
Where Will
yeah,
Smith came from an era of Hollywood superstar. He was one of the last of that era, but the era of Hollywood superstars where they don't allow the public in their business. They don't allow the public to pick apart things that's going on with them and to judge them. So he's careful about what he shares. Jada isn't as careful as he is about what she shares are the narrative of it, because the whole August Alsina thing was a big mess. It was a big ball of mess, and it made Will Smith seem as if in the black community, I'm speaking about in our community, it made it seem as if he was weaker than he actually is, because he didn't blow his top. He didn't speak his mind. He didn't punch August Alsina in his face. You know what I'm saying? He didn't do the things that we would do because of the level of disrespect. And that was the smoke that August was looking for, because August is not the same kind of man that Will Smith is. So he was probably prepared to be fighting Will Smith, because that would have raised his status. Well, me and Will Smith fought in the back of the Hollywood Bowl. That would have raised his status some. But even in that instance, I keep looking for where Jada was protecting his ego, protecting his manhood, was protecting his persona, and I can't find it. I'm looking, I
I
can't
don't.
find it.
I don't know if y'all talked about this or not. Because on that line and level, as far as with Jada protecting Will, I think what irked me the most because I've heard it from multiple women. I won't mention their name, but I've heard it saying that this what he's supposed to do. I commend him for. So you really want your man on a public stage like that? Like this, people don't understand how big the Oscars is. The Oscars is like the Super Bowl for
Right.
actors. It is
Right.
the mecca of filming and theatrics and things. It's the top. Like it's the biggest event ever. People, there was a big uproar about blacks not even being there for that matter for a long period of time about the Oscars is white and this and that and the other.
It's just so
So
right. Yeah.
so it's huge. It is a huge event. So you're okay with your man who is a public figure like this, a big time star, a nominee for an Oscar, you will. You're okay with him going up there and smacking somebody because they said a joke? Like
That's
That's why it don't make
I
no
think
sense.
I think that's
yeah.
what irked me the most because I'm like that like Mike was talking about. That's the problem with our community. Like we don't talk. Nobody wants to talk. Nobody wants to have a conversation with nobody. Nobody wants to be a human being to somebody else. They always want to jump to fighting somebody. I'm like, what is the point of that? And I think that's what made me annoyed the most out of this whole situation because people are actually like, yeah, that's what he's supposed to do. I told my wife, I can bring my wife in here right now. I told her straight up. I said, if any man ever talk sideways out the way to you, I'm not going to smack him first. I'm not going to go hit him first. Me and this person's gonna have a conversation, and it may be a harsh conversation, but it's gonna be a conversation first. Now,
Yeah.
if the man starts to bring some sort of physical, thing of that nature towards you, then that's a different story. But I'm not coming out smacking somebody because they talking crazy. It's a lot of people that talk crazy. We've been getting talk crazy for years as a black community. So why am I gonna start fighting people now for somebody saying something outside the way or something that I'm offended by?
Y'all,
Think,
y'all know
think
the
about
old, y'all know
think,
the old joke. They tell the story like, oh, and then there's the grave. Oh, there go lie Michael Miller. He wasn't no punk.
yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. He wasn't no punk though.
He wasn't no punk.
Think
He dead
about
now, but he wasn't no punk.
the type of woman that you're talking about building with. Now, we're not talking about your girlfriend, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
or the chick that you kicking it with for the summer. We're
Right.
talking about somebody that you're building with, right?
Right.
And she's willing to put everything that you all build together at risk for you to defend her against a comedian.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's the move. So we all like the girl that you can bring home to mom, right? You like we know the chick that we get it on with because she's there, we there, it's exciting, it's fire and flames, but we're not bringing her home to mom
Right.
because there's gonna be a fight if I bring her home to mom. Because mom ain't gonna hold back because I'm her baby. She ain't gonna hold back if she sees this. But then we know the girl that we can take to the company picnic. We know the girl that we can take if we're having a meeting with the governor or if we're meeting with the CEO of Pepsi or something like that. We know the girl that we can take into those spaces and they won't embarrass you by being hood or being reactive. You want that type of girl to go with you when you're building. You don't want the type of girl that's going to pop off whenever she feels uncomfortable. You don't want to build with her because it's not going to be stable with her. So that's why it blows my mind that these same women want dudes that can be so emotionally unstable that a comedian can tell a joke and we supposed to blow up and go smack up a comedian who jokes about something because you said that don't. And those same women, I've asked them, they keep being quiet. When has Jada smacked somebody? I keep asking the question, and I never get an answer to that question. Who has Jada smacked? Every time I ask that question, they just skip over that question and go on to their next comment. I'm wanting to know from the women who think that this is supposed to be how we defend them, who has Jada smacked? Who have you smacked? Because what comedian have you smacked because they told a joke about your man? Tell me that so we can have that conversation.
I don't want to.
Yeah,
I just feel like this. I don't want to be with a woman that's going to allow me to do something detrimental like that to my career.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. I don't want.
forget
I
the
don't want to be.
forget the
I don't want to be
career.
with. I don't want or just person as a person. Period. Like I don't
If
want. I
your
don't want
woman,
anybody like that.
if your woman wants that out of you for words, then I'm gonna tell you right now, she don't really want you to protect her because you won't be able to protect her alone. That's
Nope.
all I'm trying to say. Somebody
Right.
like that isn't interested in growing with you.
No.
Their mindset isn't long term, and that's what you should want from a wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If the person is thinking that is what, if they're telling you that's what they want, enjoy the short term fun, fellas. But get away, run. I'm telling you right now. What do the young people say? Make her a sneaky link.
Find somebody that cares about you enough
Right.
to
Right.
protect you from you sometimes.
Right.
Because
Right.
that's the kind of
Speaking
woman we need.
speaking of that sneaky link, I don't remember anything like that coming up. I grew up in a different era, wasn't no social media and all that. I just feel like it wasn't the right time.
Sneaky
But
link.
I don't know all this sneaky link business is
Sneaky
going on.
link.
It makes me feel like there's a lot of craziness out there in the world. But anyway, run, fellas. She's toxic. She's not
Well,
looking out for your best interest. One of the number one qualifiers I tell anybody. Any married couple that ever talked to me, you want any words of wisdom, one of the number one things I'll tell you is that you want a woman that'll put you first. And you
True.
want to put your woman first. And guess who gets left behind? Nobody.
mhm.
That's the way that it works. If she's putting you first and y'all thinking about the marriage mindset, she's grabbing, if she's Jada, she's grabbing your arm.
Right.
All,
Definitely.
yeah.
I,
I'll
I,
talk.
I say that I've asked that question, and then women, this is of course Twitter, where everything's negative. Women will get mad at me and say, don't make it her fault. No, he went up there to smack somebody for her. He didn't go up and smack that man for himself. He went up and smacked that man because Jada was feeling some type of way. And because
Exactly.
she was feeling some type of way, he went up there to go handle that for her.
Because
Because now
Will
part
was
of that
laughing at
has
first.
nothing
Will
to
was
do with
laughing at
Jada.
first. Yeah, Will was
Yeah,
laughing at
some
first.
of that has nothing to do with Jada because Will Smith in his book, I haven't read it, I want to read it, but they said in the first line, he said he felt like a coward
Yep.
because when he was a child, his mother, like you mentioned earlier, was getting physically abused by his father, and he was too scared to do anything. And that's plagued him his whole life. Fast forward to the night that you're getting an Oscar for the first time after all the movies you've put out, quality movies, you're finally getting an Oscar, and nobody's talking about you getting an Oscar. They're talking about you smacking up a comedian on
I
that
said
night.
that to my wife
That's
last
trauma
night. Yep.
surfacing.
Yep. Yep.
Let me also touch on because we're gonna come full circle on this, Let me touch on a few things. Jaden Smith tweeted out, "That's how we do it."
Yeah.
Will Smith, are you gonna publicly correct your son because your publicist who put out that apology for you? I don't mean to be smoky, but I'm gonna tell you what time it is. Your
Oh yeah, you know
publicist who
that.
put
You know that. You
that
know that's
apology out for you. Your
absolutely,
apology says that's not how you do it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Go ahead and correct your son.
Yeah.
I want to see it. I want you to correct him on there. You won't correct Jada. So can we at least see some fatherly, you know what I'm saying, wisdom here and correct your son and tell him, no, that's not how we do it. That's how I did it and I was wrong.
Yep.
But see, that's the dangers of not being an example. Your son now believes that what you did was the right thing.
Let
So what
Jaden,
happens when your
let Jaden
son
go up and smack somebody. Let Jaden go up and smack somebody.
So what happens when your son goes up and does
Yep.
the exact same thing that you did, who he's
Yep.
not as famous as you.
Yeah.
Nope.
He's not going to get the same benefit of doubt that you've gotten, that you enjoy. What happens when he does what you've shown him is the way to do things.
He's not 6'2", 200 pounds either.
No, no.
Mm-hmm.
Let your son go up there and do it. Better yet, let me say this. Better yet, let Willow go smack somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
See, that's a different dynamic. I tell my daughters.
Mm-hmm.
I got 3 daughters. Don't put your hands on nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Please don't put your hands on no man.
Please.
Because as much as you want to, when it gets to that point, unless it's self-defense, do not be the agitator.
Right.
Do not be the instigator that think you get a pass because you're a woman. We see that all too often, especially in our community.
Yeah.
Women think that there's that free pass. Will Smith, you teaching your daughter that that's okay to put your hands on somebody? Because she do it behind the scenes. She liable to get her tail whooped. I'm not supporting domestic violence. I'm just telling you what time it is. Keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah.
Will
definitely.
Smith, you failed, and that apology that your publicist put out there, it don't do it for me.
Yeah.
You make a lot of videos. Your family's on the internet all the time. I want to see the words come out your mouth. I don't want to hear I don't want to read it that you didn't even probably write that. I want to see them come out of your mouth.
I'm with you.
Jada's got you eating crow. Everybody's out here making you look like a fool. It's time to stand up and be a man. Take accountability. Humble yourself. And I want to verbally see what time it is. You're one of the greatest actors in the world. Fake it if you have to, but I want to see it.
Yeah.
Because that weak apology, you started out by see, a lot of people, I didn't want to break down this apology, but I will. That apology started out by really talking about how there was wrong on both sides.
Yeah.
That's what that apology really.
Exactly.
The apology didn't start. He did not personally apologize to Chris Rock until the second paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
Just look at the apology.
And then it wasn't even a solo. It wasn't even a solo apology. He had to add.
He combined it all in there.
Academy, and it's that's not.
He combined it all in there. He had to sneak in there the alopecia. He had to sneak in there that there was, how he was reacting to XYZ. Yep. That's called you trying to justify.
Yep.
Even though you're sorry, you're putting up there the justifications of why you did it.
Right.
Compare that to what I feel Chris Rock did put out there.
Mm-hmm.
His apology to Will Smith never once defended himself one time.
That wasn't his apology.
That
was found out to be false. That wasn't him. His team didn't put that out.
I thought that both were out there. But
even the fake apology was better. Even the fake apology was better than the apology that Will Smith put out.
Our guest is saying it's fake. Y'all go out there and tell me if it is real or not. I don't know. But even if it's fake or real, that is what I would have liked to have seen from Will. That apology had the hallmarks of 100% accountability for what Chris Rock did. Mm-hmm. If it's fake, whoever wrote it took 100% accountability from that angle and did not engage in whataboutism, did not engage in somebody else blaming or even putting 1% on another soul. That fake apology was awesome.
They did a good job. They should Will Smith should hire that person because they did a really good job. Here's my thing. It seems as if to some people, if you blame Will Smith, if you say that he was wrong, that you're piling on Will Smith and you don't understand what happened with him. No, we understand. It's not that this is who he is. We know that this is outside of his character. So this is obviously a trauma trigger. Something triggered him to make him lose his composure that he normally has and made him go and smack another person who didn't put hands on him. Now, the only time I've seen Will Smith smack a dude was that dude in France that tried to kiss him.
Yeah.
And that smack was pretty weak. That
wasn't a smack. That was a little.
It was a weak. It was backhanded. It's like he wanted to smack him, but then he remembered he was famous and he can't go around hitting people, so he kind of.
But either way, he struck. That was warranted for him to to hit
This was him out of control. Like that one was him in control, being angry, but
Right.
being in control. He was in a better place there mentally. This one was him out of control. Because not only did he smack the guy, but after he smacked the guy, then he's yelling at the top of his lungs at the Academy Awards in front of all of his peers, losing his mind. These are directors and producers that can cast him in other movies. Not that they're not going to cast him in another movie, but what if there's a producer who's like, okay, he may need to sit down for a little bit because he kind of wound up right now. You know what I'm saying?
They're not going to cast him right now.
He's in front of producers, other stars, other writers, and stuff like that, losing his mind because somebody made a joke about G.I. Jane. This is him tripping.
I got a few more questions for you guys, and then we'll wrap this up. Mark, have you seen that video that's resurfaced? I mean, back in the early 90s, Will Smith on the Arsenio Hall show, where he's making a bald joke about somebody in the band there at the Arsenio Hall?
I did see the clip. People pulling up all kind of clips now. But here's what's not fair about that. Arsenio Hall show was what, 30 years ago? We got to have a cap on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't go back 30 years and see, see, you a hypocrite.
You can't. Listen, you can when you go on stage so passionately and you use that as an excuse to go slap a man. You can go back as far as you need when you want to act so high and mighty that you're protecting your family.
Yeah.
Now, here's the key to that, though. People are allowed to grow.
Right.
I'm not crucifying them for that video. I'm just pointing it out that at one point you thought it was funny too.
Yeah, and nobody smacked you.
And nobody smacked you. At one point you were trying to be funny.
Yeah. But see, for the people who are supporting him, to them, that's not going to be enough. Even though that's a perfect example of, okay, this isn't just about the joke. He's in a space where he was triggered. And it was an emotional space that he's in now. That's what makes it different. I really, like, psychologically don't even think he was smacking Chris Rock. I think Chris Rock took that smack for some other stuff that's going on with Will Smith.
What do you think? Have you seen that video, co-host?
I did see it. I don't
accountability, anyone?
It ain't even really about that. I mean, yeah, he did it. He said it. He talked about it, whatever. But it's not even about, like I told my wife yesterday, it ain't about the joke.
I know it ain't.
It ain't about the unstableness. It ain't about none of that to me. I'm sorry. As a human being with common sense, if a man don't put his hands on you, you shouldn't put your hands on him, regardless. Right. You can take out all the other extra stuff that came along with it. Don't put your hands on somebody that ain't touched you. It's that simple. So I mean, yeah, I saw it, but okay, he did it. I'm not even surprised that he did it. Most comics are going to talk about that's why I like Shannon Sharp. You know, normally I don't get down with Shannon like that on this show on Undisputed. I don't even really get down. That's the reason why. And Mike is the reason why I don't like Shannon Sharp. Because if he wasn't such a LeBron fan like he is, then I probably would be able to like other LeBron fans. But anyway, that's neither here or there. I really, 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 really agree with this man on the take at the Oscars, because he said one thing he said about comics. What comics do, every comic does it. They have hard life situations, and they have the ability to make those hard life situations into jokes, into funny things to have people keep going on and on to the next day.
Right.
So I know Will has done it because he's a comic. I mean, he's more of an actor than a comic. But he's a comedic actor. So I know he's done it. So the whole point of him getting upset because his wife, all this other stuff, that's neither here nor there. Every comic does it. So that's number one. Number two, who's to say? And I'm not. And this is, because my, other people have brought it to me like, well, he still should have said nothing because he knew that she was going through a sickness and this and that and the other. Do we know that he knew that she was going through a sickness?
I didn't know.
Like I told the person, I said, just because people are in Hollywood and they know each other, that don't mean they know exactly what's all going on. No, I mean
That's Chris Rock sitting there watching the red table like
exactly.
everybody.
He ain't, you know what I'm saying? So we don't even know if the man even knew. I'm not even. We don't know. We don't know if he knew or not. So that's people were telling me.
Said,
he knew.
Charlemagne the God.
How did he know? How did he know?
Charlemagne the God said on Breakfast Club today that he had talked to Chris Rock the night of the Oscars, after the Oscars, and Chris didn't know that she was battling alopecia, and he said that he didn't even know that she was back, and DJ Envy, he didn't know either. So people aren't following her like that, where everybody knows. Like it's not common knowledge.
I definitely didn't know. I had no idea until it was mentioned at the Oscars. That was it.
I'm gonna say this. Not to, look, it may come off a certain way, but I'm just gonna ask. My guy Mark he done bought into reality and he shaves his head. I'm fighting it and I need to shave my head. My co-host. Look, my co-host won't show. He won't take his hat off because he needs to shave his head. I'm gonna say it like this:
Go put my business out.
Men are not just the butt of men are the butt of how many hair jokes, man.
Lots.
We don't just get joked by other people, but this is a whole different ball game. But sometimes when we going bald or we tend to lose our appeal from other women. I mean, from women looking at us, we tend to lose so much. I get the bald thing. And for a woman where it's not even socially, like that, where it's common for women to lose their hair, I get it. I really do. But as a person who I get talked about or whatever, you got to have some thick skin. I'm not even getting talked about by millions of people. This show is not the Red Table Talk as much as I want it to be. That's got millions and millions of views. We touched 11,000 people last year, Coles. I'm proud of that. But we didn't touch millions of views, and I'm sensitive to it. But I still wouldn't go fight somebody or slap somebody or expect somebody to go on my behalf and do it because it's just words. You got to have thicker skin than that. I do have a question for you. Oh, Mark, just for GP. There's another one. LeBron James for my co-host. It goes deep over here. Listen, I think that I was shocked. I shouldn't be shocked, but I was shocked by how many people actually defended Will on social media. I was somewhat shocked, even though I knew better. I knew that my expectations for Black folks maybe was too high, but there's something to be said in our community about there is a problem with accountability for one's own actions. I do not want to talk on no talking points of the right, but at some point we got to look at ourselves and say, it's you. It's on you. At some point we got to say, no matter what was up against me, all those things are valid. Everything Will's going through is valid. Everything Chris Rock said may have been disrespectful. Let's just put it all on the table. At some point, we got to say, Will, that's on you that you made the choice to go up there and smack that man.
Yep.
Now, I'm going to say mental health is a real thing, but mental health also doesn't give you the license to physically assault someone.
Exactly.
That's true. So let me speak to the people.
This is a bigger problem in our community, Mark. That's what I'm saying. This is a bigger problem. All the responses, it's such a problem that we can't even set self accountability.
We hold negativity in high regard in our community, but a lot of times. But let me say this: I understand 'cause growing up in a house raised by women, I get it, right? It's a trigger for Black women in particular because hair is a very important thing to women. It's how they communicate. It's how they express themselves. It's how they express how they feel that day. If they feel like long hair that day, if they feel like braided up Afrocentric style that day, if they feel like short that day, it expresses how they feel. They use it to express how they feel. And us men judge them on their hair. So women with long hair may get more play than a woman with short hair, or a woman who has her hair done a certain way gets more of our attention than a woman who doesn't have the ability to have it. So I get it. And as a man from a family that has women in it where alopecia is an issue, you see how they're affected emotionally by this, by when they wash their hair in the shower and clumps of their hair come out and how they feel about it. I get it. So I understand how sensitive women can be about alopecia itself. And that sensitivity a lot of times does not allow people to be reasonable in their critique about things. It's the same. I have a really, really good friend who I know she know I love her. I know she loved me, but when we talk about rape, she cannot be objective. And I know that she can't be objective. So I don't ask her to be objective. We agree to disagree because we love each other that much, right? It's the same thing with this, right? There's some takes out there that's just crazy. And I'm seeing men parrot a lot of the takes where they're saying, this is how your husband is supposed to treat you. This is how he's supposed to defend you. It's not. It's crazy. And this is from credible people that are, and otherwise make great calls on a lot of different things. And they're missing it on this because of the sensitivity of the subject matter. Chris Rock didn't know she had alopecia. He was making a joke about her hairstyle. And every Black woman that's bald doesn't have alopecia. Some Black women have just decided that they wanted a bald look. Tiffany Haddish shaved her head bald. It wasn't because she was dealing with alopecia. She just wanted to change. She wanted to do something different. So if you make that joke about Tiffany Haddish, should Common have went up there and smacked them? No, even though they're not together anymore. But should he have done it? No, because to him it was just a joke about short hairstyle, a bald head. That's all it was. It wasn't a dig going, ha ha, you don't got no hair no more, you can't grow no hair, you got alopecia, la la la. That wasn't what he was doing. And people who know Chris Rock and know his brand of comedy knows that he is not the malicious kind. His comedy is more self-deprecating. So he's going to talk about himself more than he talks about other people. But when he fires off a joke, it's not going to be malicious. And people have to take that into consideration when they're trying to say that Will Smith did the right thing by smacking up a dude that's like 50 pounds less than him.
Let's say it like this, though. Alopecia or not, Will Smith, Jada's hairstyle is her choice.
Yeah.
Because she is rich. She is rich. There are wigs, there are styles in which she could make a choice to have hair that would look better than anybody with natural hair.
She could get implants.
There is no pulling punches with the resources that she has at her disposal. The first comment on here was by a woman. If you go back in the comments and you look, she said that's a choice by her because she is rich, and that's such a valid point.
True. Yep.
If you make the choice to accept that and not go with the other, because I'm gonna tell you right now, with this hairstyle I have right here, under this hat that the world won't see, if I had the resources, I wouldn't be bald.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm just
LeBron
being real.
James. LeBron James chose not to be.
he sure did.
Well, that's a different.
Deion Sanders.
Nah, say it. LeBron James didn't choose to
Don't.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Let me
did.
just say this. No. Since we want to go there, how about
Yeah.
KD go get a brush? How about that?
No. That's that.
Because
What
he
is that?
looked like
What
he got a hair.
ain't
It
that?
looked like he got a hair problem.
Ain't that something you said about whatism or something of that nature? I think
What
that's
about it?
kind of What aboutism? Don't go do what aboutism now. We talking about LeBron. Hashtag
Well,
accountability.
look,
There we go.
KD got some issues up there on top too. Now you know what I'm
KD
saying.
looked like he
KD
got a
got
hair
some problems.
He got
looked like
hair
his
though.
head been on fire or something.
He got
That's
hair.
Well,
it. Beating him.
He got something
when
that
you
you ain't
never
got.
brush your hair, when
He
you
got
don't
something
do
you
any
ain't
kind
got.
of hair maintenance at all, then there's only so much God can do with your
It'd
natural hair.
be 9 o'clock on TNT, and what's that saying? He woke up like this. It's
He
that
rolled right
simple.
out of bed.
You see America. You see how he switched from LeBron real quick. He don't want nobody talking about LeBron. That's what I'm talking about, man. This is
No,
what
listen,
I'm talking about.
LeBron did the right thing. He did what I would do. There's no way in hell I'm getting whatever surgery or treatment. I'm getting that man weave done by the best in Hollywood. I'm getting my hair done, and I don't know. I know the hairstyle I would want, Mark, and I'm just gonna say this as a side note.
Yeah,
I want to bring the S curl back,
Yeah,
not
let's
the
go.
Jerry curl,
yeah,
not
I'm
the
going.
Jerry curl.
I'm going.
I had
I
an
want
extra,
the S curl back, just a little, just a
yeah,
little.
little wavy up top.
Just a little
Listen.
wavy. I'm just saying, like, I'll be
LeBron
short.
said. LeBron said there was only so many headbands that he could put on top of his forehead before he had to go ahead and make the decision. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
because
So
that headband had went all the way back to the middle of his
he had
head.
about three of them at one point in time.
Yeah,
They were
it was like
layered.
right here. It was like right here at
Yeah,
one point. You
they
saw
were
like
going
all
up.
of this.
He could.
Let me just say this. When I gave up, I actually got depressed about it. I was getting my hair cut, and they had that little spray, the magic spray that'll fill in the lines and give you a little bit of life, a little bit of play.
They emptied the
He
whole
had to
can
use a lot of spray.
He used the whole can.
I remember it to this day. I was over a buddy's house. It was an out of town barber came in and he hooked me up and he finished that can out on me. And when I realized I had more, I don't
Oh,
appreciate
dude.
you got to laugh like that, Mark. When I realized it was more spray than it was hair, I didn't know it at the time. I was in denial.
You gotta
Look,
chill, man. You
let
gotta
me.
chill.
So Gary had a mayor. I
That's
forgot the
funny.
name of the mayor that Gary had, but everybody knew him, and he was known for having these like pork chop sideburns, right? I got to actually stand right next to the mayor one time during Gary Day because my best friend had done some work with him. And I'm standing right next to him and I'm looking at the side of his face and I was expecting for hair to be there, but it was nothing but spray. And I'm so stupid. I'm sitting there staring and like my best friend's like trying to tap me to tell me to quit staring at this man. I'm like in shock because I'm expecting. I understand it. You know, you do what you need to do, and if you have the resource, look, Brian Urlacher decided he didn't want to be bald.
That's true.
Deion Sanders decided he didn't want to be bald. When you have the resources, why not take it back? Women put makeup on their face and they get
Every other
their
thing they
boobs
will in their face.
done.
Come on, man.
Yeah, they do everything in order to maintain the level of. Why can't guys do it? Guys can do it. It's
Guys
just
can do it, and I'm just listen, America. If you got a good man weave guy, you know what I'm talking about. They put the pieces up there, and it look like
yeah.
Mega Man
Shave
old.
you off and then make it smooth. And,
I seen guys before and after, and I'm talking about confidence boosters. I'm talking about
oh,
making men feel like $1 million. You just don't understand what the pressure is and what that weight is on a man that just lost that, right?
yeah.
I'm gonna do it. So if you
Yep.
got somebody, America,
I'm about
refer
to
him
say
to me on the
just
show.
go ahead and do it, man. Go ahead and do it.
Refer
But
him to me.
I'm
Get
gonna
in
talk to you about this deal.
the message me on Facebook. Message me on YouTube.
I'm gonna be
Listen, tell me what time it is. Because
I'm gonna
I'm gonna
be
tell you right now,
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
be worse
plug
than
you on
Chris
the show.
Rock.
No pun intended. No pun intended. I'm gonna plug you on the show, and I'm gonna send the people your way because I want to do it. My whole point is,
I'm gonna
Jada,
be
it's
worse
a
than Chris Rock.
choice.
So
Jada, you bald headed because it's a choice. Disease aside, it's a choice, and I don't want to hear nothing else about it. You got a disease that's making you bald. It's a choice. Real simple. It's still a choice at the end of the day because women are even more socially acceptable to put in fake hair. I'm sorry.
I think it's
I'm
I think
sorry.
it's very I think it's very expensive though
yeah,
because if you know Congresswoman, I think she's Congresswoman Ayanna Presley, she went ahead and went bald too because she had been dealing with alopecia, and she went from having like cornrows and stuff like that in her head to being completely bald and rocking that. So I don't know if maybe if why it would be more difficult for women to because like Deion Sanders, Deion Sanders, LeBron, a lot of other like Tory Lanez, a lot of dudes have gotten that work done up there. I don't know why it'd be
yep.
more difficult for a woman to get it done, or if it would be more difficult. I'm not sure, but I don't. So the jury's out on me whether it's a choice or not. I have to do more investigative work to see whether maybe women don't respond to it as equally as guys do. I don't know, but but that's not even the issue because if you're going to come out in public and you're a public figure, and now after all these years of you putting your business out there and everything like that, now somebody can't make a joke about you. No, that can't be an acceptable level. And Will Smith, that was what you saw was trauma. What you saw
Yeah.
was a trauma being triggered and a dude losing his mind because somebody triggered his trauma. His defense systems kicked into overdrive because he felt like his wife was attacked, and he lost all sense of decorum or professionalism.
I got one more point that I'm gonna make. It's gonna feed off of what Mark had said earlier um, about Jada stepping up and doing whatever and all that. I'm sorry. Jada has put Will in a position to not only not step up for him, but she's made it okay to expose him and his vulnerabilities,
Mhm.
and has had no qualms about it.
Mm-hmm.
The them being separated, been there, done that.
Mhm.
Them seeing other people on during the separation, been there, done that. Nothing wrong
Mhm.
with none of it. The choice after y'all got back together and to keep putting that out there like that and to not properly hold your husband in the right, you know, uh,
Like,
elevate him to the right, stature. I'm sorry. It is it's unacceptable. Jada, it's unacceptable. Ladies, if y'all gonna defend Will, where was the defense of I see so many women defending Jada in that situation that are defending Will right now. Where's your consistency? That's
listen,
another thing. We pick and choose what time it is for us. You are defending Jada talking about they were separating this and that. Will's not mad because she's talking about this stuff something that happened while they separated. He did okay that. It don't make it feel any better.
yeah,
Men
I
take pride in their wives. Men take pride in their wives. That's my wife. That's my wife. And the
yeah.
last thing you want out there is to have your wife be exposed in the public out of millions that
This
that, that she was somebody else's.
this
That
grounds this
I'm sorry,
groundswell
that's the
of
trauma
women
he's dealing with. That's the trauma he's dealing with.
this groundswell of women defending Will Smith is probably the first time women have defended Will Smith since he's been married to Jada. Because I don't, if a man is sitting there, and I'm gonna talk hood talk. All right, I'm gonna keep the verbiage PC. But
You got it. You
if
got it.
if I'm if me and my woman have a falling out and we get back together, and some dude is sitting there writing songs and telling people how good it was with you and this, that, and the other. What I need from you is to be like, man, he wasn't packing nothing, no way. He wasn't doing nothing. He thought he was doing a little something, but he's a little too young. That's why I had to get back with my man, and I had to, get back with a real man. That's what I need from you. You know why? Because he's publicly putting out there that I'm deficient in some way. So the same way that you would want a man to, if some woman is sitting there talking about I took your man and I did this, that, and the other, the same way that you would want him to be like, girl, look, I had a mental breakdown. That's the only reason why you can't even compare to this woman over here. I don't even know why you're talking to her. Don't look her directly in the eye because you ain't on her level. The same way you would want us to do that for you, you got to do that for us, because that ego that we have is the ego that we go out and slay dragons for you with. That
That's the
same
ego.
ego that we have.
That's what you want. That's
Yeah,
women. Just be consistent in your own thing. That's what you want. So how
yes.
you not going to protect that man's ego? How you not going to protect his vulnerabilities?
Mhm.
And
All
his
she had to
ego,
say, one thing on that red talk table.
mhm,
You see where I'm at now, don't you?
right.
You see where I'm at now. All that was fine and dandy, but I'm where I want to be. I'm where I
That would have
always
killed the
wanted
whole
to be.
thing. But
It would have
instead,
killed all that. Will wouldn't have been up there looking like a fool. He wouldn't have
yeah,
been holding back those tears. I'm sorry.
right. But instead,
It- it-
you made
yeah,
it. You big up how August is a great person, and we
yeah,
had
all that
this
bull, all
time
that bull.
together. Yeah, don't
Because
do that. I need you to
you
talk
worried
down
about
about
making
that kid.
August look bad. You worried about making him look bad instead of making your husband look good.
And Will did not look great in that. Will looked like the nice guy that's always going to take the high road and going to open up the door and see his wife getting dug out by some dude and say, "Okay, hon, I'll be back when you're done. Can we discuss this afterwards, please? Okay, I'll take the kids too." That's what Will Smith looked like to America, because Jada. Girls were big up in Jada entanglements. They talk about entanglements to this day. Ooh, I'm trying to get me an entanglement. Jada didn't come out looking bad. Jada came out looking like a pimp, and Will came out looking like a trick.
Mhm.
Same thing happened with the slap. Jada came out looking like a pimp,
Yep.
and Will was his bottom.
Yeah.
I mean,
When
her
are you
bottom.
going to
And guess
protect?
what? You going over there? You going over there and handle that for daddy? That's what it is. That's what time it is.
That's what it is. When are you going to protect your husband?
Yep.
We need protection also. When are you going to protect us? When does that kick in? Because we're supposed to smack comedians for you. When are you going to protect us?
True.
There are some good women out there. Listen, there's some
Yeah.
good women that I see ride or die for their man. I'm
Oh
talking
yeah.
about they support him. They go hard. They defend him. They praise him. They
Hmm.
what I'm talking about. You see this woman out there, and she is 150 for her man.
Right.
There's not enough of you.
Hmm.
As good as you may look on Instagram or TikTok or wherever it may be, I need something deeper than what that skin looks like.
Yeah.
I need that heart to be for me. I need your mentality to be for me. And
You
you
know what
asking
though?
your man, real
Those
quick, if
women
you,
wouldn't have let Will go up there on stage.
that's what I'm
They would have
saying.
grabbed his arm.
You would have grabbed his arm. No, baby, come on. Mm-mm.
Hmm.
And they would have appreciated the gesture.
Yes.
They would have
Yep.
appreciated the mentality Will had to protect this woman. But no, baby, I love you too much. We've done too much. We're bigger than this. I'm not
Hmm.
going to sink to his level, whatever comes out the mouth.
Right.
They could have just
Jada's
got
not
up.
there for
They
you,
could have got
Will.
up
I'm
and
sorry.
left. They literally could have got up and left if they were that offended. They could be like,
Right.
"Look, baby, we gone.
There's
We out of
many
here.
mature choices that they could have made.
Yeah, just leave."
But Jada's decision not to stop her man is just as bad in the scheme that I'm talking about because she's the reason that he went up there and did it.
Yep.
That says a lot to me. That says a lot to
Anyway,
me.
I know that we've been on here and we gave our listen. I'm gonna give this show is the platform for me to tell y'all what time it is. Any guests that come on here, they gonna tell you what time it is for them. And my co-host, he's gonna play the nice guy, and the only person he's gonna talk down about is LeBron James. But you know, uh,
I literally was
he's
talking
Mr.
about
Nice
Will.
guy.
I
Well,
literally was talking about Will. I don't
he'll
understand.
talk about me some like that. But I'm gonna I'm gonna go over there and put my hands on him, see what he do with
It's
that.
gonna be the last show, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all
It's
that
gonna
now.
be trouble.
It's gonna be the last show.
It ain't gonna be the last show because the ratings after that.
Mike ain't coming back.
Through the roof. Ratings will be through the roof.
Yeah, because Mike is gonna be on the show via satellite from the hospital bed. That's where That's why it's gonna be through the roof.
Here lies Mike. What he wasn't no punk. Simple as that.
Yeah. All right.
I'm gonna close out with this. I know we've all been on the internet. We've seen the jokes, the memes, the the
I
the
can't do
different
it. I
videos and
can't
all
do
the
it.
responses to this, all the funny things. Let's end on a light note because I've been hard on the black community this show, but y'all do not fail when it comes to the internet. What
Never
are some of the
disappoint.
I
what are
can't
some of
do
the
it.
best?
I'm
I'm
not
talking
gonna
about.
let you take. I'm not gonna let you take me down that road. I'm not gonna let you
We
do
are
it.
creative people, Mark. We are creative
I'm not
people.
gonna let you do it.
Black
What
Black
are some
Twitter
of the best? What'd you
Black
say?
Twitter never disappoints. They never I've seen them put the video of remember that funny movie The Slap that was made off of that TV show that the whole premise was somebody actually hit a kid. I've seen them do that. I've seen them put different thought bubbles in Will Smith's head versus Chris Rock's head. I've seen them isolate Chris Rock's face and say this is what it's like, or this is what you act like when this happens. It's been so many. Like that's really the only reason why I even stayed in touch with this story because the memes was so incredible. Black
I seen
Twitter, we
somebody
deserve to
redo.
have our own platform where we can just go to and just be us. Because you got to weed through all of he should be in jail and he was like an animal. You got to weed through all of the colonizer comments in order to get to the pure gold, which is Black Twitter. Black Twitter never disappoints.
You know, I want the audience and any viewer on here. You notice one time I never said that he should be in jail. I never put that on him. I said that somebody else is going to not always be a Chris Rock for all you regular folk out here, and you're risking jail.
Right.
You are risking jail because you can't control if somebody else gonna press charges. You can't
Right.
control if you're gonna now not be there to protect your family long term. I don't wish jail on the man. That's the black man. We do not need another black man in jail.
Right.
Never have I wished that on that man. I'm
Right.
just telling you the risk that you're taking when you say that he did the right thing and I want a man to be like that for me. You're gonna end up with a different man because that man gonna be gone.
Right.
Anyway, the best one I seen, I don't know about best. I don't want to use that word.
Nah, go
One that's
ahead. Nah, go ahead. Nah, you brought us here. Go ahead. Say it.
one that stuck with me, and it's a
Nah,
low
you
blow.
said you already said what you said. The best.
They said Jada ain't got no alopecia. She bald headed because August pulled her hair out. But
Oh.
That's wrong.
Oh.
That's wrong.
I didn't
That's
say
wrong.
it, America. I'm
Look,
just telling you
That's wrong. You're
one of the
defeating the
ones that
cause.
stuck with me.
These word
Black
these
Twitter
words
is undefeated.
these words are
Black
not
Twitter is undefeated.
these words are not from the morning smoke, y'all. This is words of Michael Miller, aka Mellow
No,
Miller.
no, 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 no. I report the news. I don't make the news. I
You didn't
report the
have
news.
you didn't have to report that. You could have
It's
left that
just
one alone.
well,
You sad. You Jada, if you hearing us, I ain't say it. He said it, not me.
Jada, if you
Will
worried
Phil
about this comment, you worried
Will
about the
about
wrong thing.
Will about to come up to your house.
Look.
Oh, he can come on over. Listen, I'm not Chris Rock. I'm suing him.
You ain't gonna
I'm
be able to
suing him.
live. You ain't gonna be able to live to tell the tale.
I think Will is done fighting on Jada's behalf for this
No,
week. I think he,
we'll see.
we gonna see.
yeah.
Where would y'all like to see this? Close it out, co-host. Where would y'all like to see Will go from here? Real talk.
He can't go nowhere until he do the right apology like he's supposed to. I'm sorry. You got to start there, and then you can go from there.
I would like to see Will and Chris get together, have a conversation, air things out, a real apology face to face. Me personally, I want to see Jada Smith take some accountability for the fact that she does not cover her man the way that she should, and she's leaving all of it on him.
She ain't gonna do that.
She ain't gonna do that.
Not. That's what I want to see. This is my fantasy world. This is what I want to see. This is my make believe world. She takes accountability and recognizes that she is the reason why he is the butt of all these jokes and the subjects of all these memes, and that she's making him look weak and soft and docile to the public so that he has to have a manly outburst at some point in time just to reclaim some of his manhood. And then I would like to see like him and Chris Rock do a skit about it next Oscars, where Chris Rock goes up there and smacks him or something like that. Like I would love to see that be the resolution.
I'd love to see it, but the Oscars ain't gonna let that happen.
They might. This is so egregious. This has been going on for so long. Like people have been talking about this for so many days, and probably will until the weekend and stuff like that. They might. Because that would probably equal the conversation. Not totally, but it would probably be huge, and it would be two black men putting egos and putting their differences aside and making a funny bit, which is what Chris Rock thought that it was going to be in the first place. He thought he was doing a bit. This would actually be a bit. Because, comedians, this is going to be what comedians talk about for the next 6 months. They're in the lab right now cooking up hundreds of jokes about this.
I got tickets to Chris Rock June 14th. Will, do either one of y'all think he's going to talk about it in that show?
Please tell me what jokes he fired off.
That's what I'm saying. I'm about
to
say if he don't say anything, then he ain't a real comedian. Shoot.
He got to. He's a vet. He's a vet, and he knows he's not going to be able to go through this whole. Not if he's got black people in that space where he's telling jokes, because somebody gonna mention. You didn't say that when Will Smith smacked it. Somebody's gonna say something. He's gonna have to talk about it.
I don't know what the right platform is for them to do it. It can't be. I mean this with all sincerity. It cannot be the red table.
Heck no.
Jada can't have that. Jada can't have that.
No, because Jada has not shown enough humbleness to not make that all about her, and then she's gonna make Chris Rock look like that, right?
Yeah.
I just don't see. And then you have two men on there looking silly. Jada has some power that I don't want Chris Rock nowhere near. Right?
Are you calling Jada a Kardashian on the low? Is Jada Erica Badu / Kardashian?
I think Erica.
I think she's a Erica Badu that is faking the funk, where she's got all that pseudoscience and talk real soft and make it seem like she's got it all figured out. No, she is crazy like Erica Badu behind the scenes of all that silliness. And Will Smith, one of the more mild-mannered, composed legends of our time, is melting right before our eyes. And I can't. There's an accountability on Will, but there's an accountability on Jada as something that only a husband and wife have that dynamic impact on each other. And she is a lot of this. I'm sorry, I don't see how Jaden or Willow can look at Will and think that that's okay. I wouldn't, I struggle myself with the period that I went through, how my sons would view me during that. I really do. I to this day, I think about that to the point sometimes I don't even talk about it with them. It's such
Yeah.
a hard thing that they lived that and seen that me go through the period I went through, and that was only for a month,
Yeah.
and it was private.
As parents, though, the best gift that we can give our kids is showing them our faults and our flaws,
Yeah,
because that makes us human to them, and they can understand that we're just trying to figure it out. We don't have all the answers. We just got more answers than you got, and we're trying to figure it out, and we're trying to help you along the way. I would like to see on Red Table Talk, because I do watch it from time to time. I would like to see, again, this is my fantasy world, Jada on there recognizing that the amount of protection she's getting is not anywhere close to the amount of protection she's giving.
yep.
I would love to see that.
I want to see Will on there with Gail.
You want to storm off like R. Kelly? This is my
I
life.
can, I can guarantee that Will is gonna break down, talking about I'm fighting for my life.
Nah, you just fighting. You're not fighting for your
Gail
life. You're
is
just
gonna
fighting.
have Will on there. Ah, you know what I mean? I just want to see. I want to see Gail break. I want to see somebody. I need the right platform. I don't know if it's Oprah, man. I know she ain't got a show like that.
That's
Oprah
who it
could sit
would be.
those two down.
It would be Oprah. They're not going to They're not going to go to Gail when they can go to Oprah. The Smiths, they can get Oprah. Oprah
I
would be like, no.
don't want Jada. I don't want Jada. I want Will and Chris.
Oh, Will and Chris. That's Oprah. They're too
I
big for
want
that
Will
not to
and
be
Chris
Oprah.
to go on Oprah and figure it out.
Oprah would snake Gail in a heartbeat to get the interview with Will Smith and Chris Rock.
Can you
She would
imagine the ratings?
sabotage her best friend in a heartbeat to get that interview.
Can you imagine the ratings for that?
Everybody in the world would be watching. People on the battlefield in the Ukraine and Russia would stop firing on each other to watch this interview. It'd be just that big.
Well, anyway, co-host, it's been a great live. This is a conversation that I've been waiting personally to have on the platform. I haven't made no posts about it. I've been waiting to get it out there. You can leave these comments on here a year from now. Join the conversation. It doesn't matter. Tell us what you think. Please don't shy away if you're against us. That's the only way you get anything done, is you get opposing views to have a civil conversation. And I want the smoke. Bring it. My name is Mark. I mean, my name.
Nah, don't say nobody's name.
Mark loves the smoke.
Mark loves the smoke. I had to ask him, Mark, what I ask you? What did I ask you?
Listen, I love the smoke. I love the smoke. I breathe it daily. My mind is saturated with smoke, so I don't mind it.
Understandable. He ain't joking. He really.
Yeah.
I got a breathing treatment ready because I stay in the smoke. I be choking.
But I stay ready.
Now I want this to be known. I want this to be known because you said that you don't want no smoke, but you just said that you stay in the smoke.
I said I stay ready. I stay ready.
No. That's not what you said. What you said was you stay in. We can go back and hear it. You stay in the smoke, but you say you don't never want. That's conflicting things right there. So, never mind. We'll talk about it later.
To stay in the theme of Chris Rock, Pookie didn't want the crack, but it kept calling him. It kept calling him.
Wow.
You understand, co-host?
But you want it. You just said you want it. You just said
I got
you
a
want
big voice right here. I got a big voice right here and a tiny voice right here. And
Mark, I told him a while back that you know how you have the image of, you know, when you're trying to make a decision, you have the image of the devil angel, and then you have an actual angel over here. Well, I told him this one don't even show up anymore for him. He's never there. He sleeps in.
They're on break.
He ain't on. He on a permanent break because he don't show up no more.
The good one is like a little flea. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
the good one is not there. He's invisible. He's not there.
It's
That's
not
what I'm
my
trying to
fault,
say.
man.
Only person that comes to you
I
is
try to do right. I
this
try
is
to
this
do
is
right.
what the angel the devil angel come to him every time and say, "Hey man, so what we doing today?" That's all he say. He don't even ask for. He don't even ask him what do you. He don't even say do this. No, he just say what you want to do. The angel's asking him what he
Tell
wants. The devil
America,
ain't.
tell America, be done with it. Tell America what you call me. What character do you call me?
Oh yeah. So Mark, so you seen Talladega Nights, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You remember Ricky Bobby's daddy?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know how he is, how they can be having a good time, but
Hmm.
just something don't sit quite right with the dad. He got to mess something
Yeah.
up.
He got to bounce
Uh,
out.
he
It's
got to
feeling
do
too
he got
good.
to do something because it don't feel that's him. If everything's going right, he's bound to do something because he get itchy. He like something. This is too perfect. I need conflict. I need confusion. I
Mm.
need smoke.
It don't feel right.
It don't feel right. He does this every day. He wakes up daily looking for a reason to mess something up. That's what he do. That's what he does. That's what he does.
Give it.
Mark, my daughter caught a flat, and I got some health problems. My boy
Mm.
came over to help me on the highway to help her with her tire.
Yeah. Still there, sir? He
Yep.
didn't cut out because he was going to say something crazy. That's
Oh,
what it
yeah,
was.
that's probably.
Hey, you know how you do. You know how you do. Let's give him a minute. See if he can get back in here.
Yeah. You know.
See if
See,
he can get
the
back in here.
God don't like ugly. She's what the
Nah,
problem
nah.
is.
And I tell him that all the time, and he think I be playing. Like I'll be
He's about
like,
to talk real reckless, and
yeah.
then the Lord's
I,
like, yeah, no, let's shut that
I'll
down.
be trying to tell him he don't be listening. He don't listen. That's the problem. He don't listen. Let me see if he get back in here real quick. So is your show back up?
Not
Are you
yet.
back?
Not
Not
yet.
yet. Okay.
I'm working on it. I got some things going on. I messed around and got a little injury over here, so working on things. But I definitely taking baby steps of making more of a impact socially um, on social media and stuff like that. So I'm trying to get slowly get back into posting and
Yeah.
being more available.
Yeah.
Because I had to go live on this subject just because it was too many takes going on. And I was seeing too many people talking crazy about it. So I had to
Mm-mm.
I had to go ahead and comment on this one. But um, yeah, I definitely will. For people who are listening, uh, you can download the JQLM radio app,
Yes.
catch all the smoke on there. You can catch the podcast on. You can catch JQLM radio podcast on everything that you get get your podcast from. You can go on the website. Um, JQM Radio is all the way out there, a division of Ego Entertainment. So make sure that you download the app and listen to all the different shows that we have on there. We have a lot of great shows on there.
Yep.
This
Yep.
one included.
And we have all of that information in our links on our page, so you can always reach it there. If you happen to forget or whatever. But yeah, we definitely thank you for coming on. And then real quick, because my co-host he's bugging me now because what happened was his phone overheated,
Ah,
so he can't get back on. I told you the Lord will do that thing. I done told
yeah.
he don't listen. He don't
He
listen
was
to me.
he
I
was
done,
just about to talk crazy,
just ready to
and,
say something
and God was
nuts,
like,
and
"Ah,
God
shut
cut
that."
it. God cut it.
Yeah.
But this is what he was going to say. He was going to say this recently. His daughter's car had a flat tire.
Mhm.
Not a flat tire. It exploded. But either
Oh,
way, she was the car was on the highway, so he he called me and asked me to come help him. So I was like, oh yeah, no problem, whatever. So went on the highway. We did some running back and forth. The tire, like I said, had exploded, and she didn't have a spare, so we had to take it off and go take it somewhere, get it replaced, and then had to get another tool from like some other place in order to get it off, and just a whole bunch of running back and forth. And I was basically the driver essentially because I picked him up and said, I help you out, whatever.
right.
So did all of that towards the end of the evening. He's like, man, you know what, man, he said, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I want to do something for you. So normal people in this moment would, say, "Hey, I'm gonna give you a little something for, gas, whatever, just something, some kind of gesture."
Right.
Not my co-host. My co-host said, "I'm gonna present you with two forms of payment," and I'm like, "Okay," and he's like, "I can either A, give you $20 for gas, or B, I can uh I can feed your wife DoorDash. I can DoorDash her some food, and then that'd be your payment." And I'm like, why would I DoorDash my wife for me running back and forth gas? We know gas is 4 plus right now.
Right.
I don't think DoorDash is going to accept, her food going into my tank. I don't think it works that way.
No,
So yeah, I
no.
picked the gas. So instead of him just, just giving me the gas, he then proceeds to message my wife on Facebook saying that, "Oh, your husband, he don't care nothing about your stomach. He don't even want to feed you." So then I had to, go back and forth with my wife about that because of this. This is who I do with. This is who I do with every day. Instead
You
of
know
him
what?
just being a
I
genuine guy,
already,
he does this. This is what he does.
as soon as you told me the options that he's giving me, I already knew what he was doing because I'm like, this is Mike being messy once again. Because
That's what he
why
does.
would he
What he does.
present the option of I can either feed your wife or I can give you some gas? Well, guess what? I need gas
Right.
to
I'm going back and
move
forth. What you
around.
mean? So you're leaving me
And
with
it would have
a
came out cheaper door dashing your wife food
no, no,
than
no, 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 no. He would not have came out cheaper because had that happened, I'd already told him. I said, had she did that, I was going to literally message her and say, "Hey, you getting Cheesecake Factory tonight,
oh yeah,
or you getting something expensive tonight? I
oh
don't
yeah,
even care if
oh
you
yeah.
eat it, but that's what you ordering tonight."
Get your taste fed. I already knew what he was going to do. As soon as he presented those
Like
options, though,
it's like you like
I knew
St.
what.
Elmo's, don't you? You like St. Elmo's. They on DoorDash. Yeah, go ahead and get you some St. Elmo's tonight. That's what you eat. But yeah,
Hilarious.
yeah, that's who I deal with. That's oh, here he go. He back. He back. Lo and behold, you come back at the right time. How about that?
Of course,
Mm-mm-mm.
that's so
Hey,
messy.
Mm-mm-mm.
listen,
Mm-mm.
listen,
That was
Mark.
so messy.
Mm-mm-mm.
I just want to correct something, man. That was
Ain't
messy.
nothing to
I'm
correct.
trying. I wanted to thank him.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Mhm.
I wanted to thank
Mm-mm.
him for
Mm-mm.
helping me. And I
Mm-mm.
said, man, I know you love your wife. I love your wife too. I'm gonna go ahead
This is what I
and
deal with.
let me take care of her.
He don't want to
All
take
Or
of
care
that
of me though,
sounded good.
but he don't want to take care of me.
Listen,
or
all of that sounded good until you messaged his wife and let him know that he had the option of
Right.
getting. That's when it got messy right there. That's the messy part.
one
Exactly.
thing ain't nobody ever gonna say about me is I don't keep it real. So I wanted her to know he don't care nothing about if you eat or not tonight.
Mm-mm-mm.
I'm
Tell
That
gonna
her
tell
was
you
fun.
right
why.
now, he don't care.
She had
Listen,
ate before that conversation. So I mean, what we
he don't
talking
care nothing. He don't care nothing about if you eat. But
about?
I do want you to know that I thank him for coming out to help. Sorry for taking him from you for a few hours. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm-mm-mm.
apologize. But Mark, I
Mm-mm-mm.
just want to be real.
Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. You a sad
That's
person, man.
That's all.
You're a really
that's
But
sad
it's
messy.
all
person.
good, man.
That's messy. That definitely is messy. You still there, Mike? I think his phone warmed up. Oh no,
Yep.
yeah, his
Yep.
phone
Yep.
warmed up
Yep.
again.
Well, we he back. He back.
Okay.
All right, we ready to close it out before my co-host's phone shut off again.
Yeah.
That's
Phone
that's that's what
was
happens. That's what happens when you play around. The Lord don't like it. Anyway,
he was doing good.
thank you. Yep, thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening. We had a good show tonight. Real good show tonight. Even though I wasn't able to get in on the first part of it, but definitely appreciate you stopping by to smoke and having that conversation. As my co-host said, if you got anything for us, give it to us. We want to hear it. We want to hear it. We want to have that conversation, that dialogue. So, but as our guest said, you can always catch us on JQLM Radio. Not only just this show from 10 to 11 a.m. on Mondays, you can catch all of the shows on the lineup on JQLM Radio, and also check out the website as well too at Eco Entertainment. They have a lot of good things going on right now. Very proud to be on the radio station, to actually be there and things of that nature. Never thought I would ever be on radio, and I appreciate JQLM Radio actually giving me that opportunity. So, giving us that opportunity, I should say. You can also catch us here on the Morning Smoke podcast at YouTube and Facebook. You can always catch all of our live events and videos and things of that nature. Stick with us. We are going to have some other ventures coming up soon for the show. So definitely keep in tune with us on that. And then also you can catch us on Spotify and Anchor.fm as well too. So if you are into that, we are also on those platforms as well too. So, but until next time, thank you for listening to us. We will see you next week. Peace.